Hi, I'm Mike. I'm a 105 plus lifter.
And he's a master.
Yeah, and I'm a master.
Hi, I'm Nicole, 48 kilo lifter.
I'm Rob. I'm an 85 kilo lifter.
I'm Scott. I'm a 94 kilo lifter.
Spencer Moore, man. 105.
Jake, 105.
David, 94.
I'm Dave Spitz. I own this dump, and
Super.
I coach these jackasses, and I'm definitely a super.
Spencer, do you ever miss a jerk? And what do you think about when you're jerking?
Yeah, when it's 205. Yeah, when it's 205. Yeah, when it's 205. Yeah, when it's 205.
Low blood.
Agent 21 EMH on Instagram wants to know what our athletic backgrounds are.
I played college basketball, football, and everything.
I played football and did track and field.
I grew up doing judo and wrestling. And played a little bit of rugby in college.
I've been lifting since I was 8.
Before.
Yeah, weightlifting for me was my second sport that I ever did, and then I played football all throughout high school and was a very successful thrower throughout high school too. But ultimately, weightlifting has kind of always been my number one priority since I was little.
Didn't you also do a speedo sport?
I did diving.
What?
I did 1 meter board diving in the winter. Yeah,
I don't believe that.
I definitely. Yeah.
I definitely did.
Definitely
The
did.
cannonball contest at the local
That is
rec pool
amazing.
does
Oh
not count.
no.
Are you sure?
How big were you when you were diving?
Like 240.
I wrestled, played football, and ran track in high school. And after high school, I fought MMA for a few years, and then did a little bit of strongman, and now I'm weightlifting.
I played football for 12 years and played basketball for 1 year in high school.
I was a gymnast for 13 years, level 10, and Division 1 at Cal State Fullerton.
Tickle Poke asks, I love your name, by the way. Is there an anatomical advantage for guys with longer limbs?
I have long limbs, and it gives me a chance to have like a better pull, have a longer range to pull from, but it makes overhead things a little bit difficult. I've had to move my hands all the way up collar to collar, and I'm only like 5'10", but you make do.
I feel like longer limbs definitely help you more in snatch than you do in the clean. Because if you're having longer limbs in the snatch, it definitely opens up the pull. But for the clean, since your hands are so much narrower, that's going to shorten your pull up even more. And for the snatch and the clean, you're trying to have as long of a pull as possible.
Like super. I don't like this.
Ultimately, longer limbs are going to help with the pulling mechanics, but they're going to be detrimental in the catch. So you're going to deal with issues ranging from ankle mobility all the way down to just ability to stay tight in the hole. So for guys that want to have big power cleans or guys that are snatching which we tend to see longer limbs be an advantage. In the clean and jerk, not so much. It's a little bit of a struggle. So it's a plus and a minus, blessing and a curse.
Depends on what's
More often than not, your two heavy hitters, Mormon and Hisaka, when their cleans start to get heavy, they seem to almost kamikaze into the bottom position, leaving 3 or 4 inches of space for the bar to come crashing down on their shoulders, leaving them buried in a hole and then grinding out the squat. I like to see if any of the technique work, such as timing drills, jumping drills, etc., that the elite team uses.
So for me, my front rack flexibility has always been like not very good. Like I cannot meet a bar with a full hand on. It's always like dropped to my fingers. So My timing's always been a little bit off when it gets heavy. I worry about catching my elbow, so I kind of pull myself, like I dive to the bottom and kind of lose feel with the bar. I've been working on it though lately. The better my flexibility gets, the better my timing is. But it's definitely like a constant struggle to try to work on.
I've always had, like, I've been told from the time I was about like 14 or 15 that the bar is like constantly crashing on me once I get to like heavier maximal attempts, and I feel like that's just one of those things. Is like, it's like Hyson Palacio, how his like knees cave in on his pull. Like nobody's gonna be able to like fix that because that's how he's pulled since he was 10 years old. And I feel like for me, like, I could try to do jumping drills and catching drills for the next year, but as soon as I put 200 or 190 on the bar, I'm still going to want to just dive under and let it crash on me because I know I can stand it up. So as long as it stays on my shoulders, I'm pretty confident, like 100% confident I'm going to stand it up and I'm going to jerk it.
Losing
This is 205.
losing connection with the pull is really common when weights get heavy, and I think Scott is improved a lot on meeting the bar on the bottom. If you look back to his 191 clean and jerk and his 195 clean, he meets the bar really beautifully. So losing tension into the third pull is something that we always try and work on. Even tonight we were working with Jake on some dead hang cleans. So just getting the idea that there is no release of tension on the bar. There's no racing gravity. You need to use the bar to pull yourself into the hole and keep that tension. Spencer, I think it's a situation where he panics just a little bit when the weight gets heavy and he overpulls it and he beats the bar to the bottom of the position and the subsequent crash. It's something that we definitely need to work on. I don't think that we're done with Spencer as a technical model. He's still adjusting to his body weight from the days of when he was a 105 plus. So I think his technique is better today than it was last year, and I think we're going to continue to make improvements.
From Thomas O. Hopkins, I guess it's for everyone. He said, "What are your guys' lifetime goals in the lifts? Are you all full-time lifters? How old were you guys when you first started lifting? What was your relative strength then?"
My lifetime goal is 150 in comp, which is around the corner. And I started weightlifting in 2011 through CrossFit. I had my first competition here and I totaled 88 kilos after 3 weeks of just weightlifting. And that qualified me for the American Open.
Goals would be to snatch the American record. It's 166. My best is 155 right now. I've been lifting for 5 years. I started here at Cal Strength. Let's just say when I started, I could power clean one of the next one. Let's leave that at that.
Alright, I guess my lifetime goals are changing now. 'Cause I'm not sucking as much. I think somewhere around like 175, 210, something like that. I started here in 2012 and my flexibility was disgusting, but I think within my first 2 months I'd hit like 110, 137, something like that. I jerked like 165.
Lifetime goal, like snatch, clean, jerk, lifetime goals is to snatch 400 pounds. I feel like that would be pretty badass. And then, yeah. And then, yeah, really, like, lifetime goals is just to make an Olympic team. So whatever, like, I would have to make, or whatever I would have to hit to get on that team or to make an Olympic team, that would really be all I can ask for. So whatever, like, and I know that's going to be around numbers of a 170 to 180 snatch as a 105 and anywhere between like a 212 to 220 clean and jerk, which is up there right around the American records. And then I've started, yeah, like I said before, I started lifting when I was 8 years old, and then got more competitive when I was 13, did my first nationals when I was 13 years old. But being full-time lifter was probably right when I got to Cal Strength. So full-time lifting has been going on 5 years now, being here at Cal Strength. what was like my strength level? I don't know.
What did you hit?
You didn't
when
have
you
strength
were,
level.
when
I
you were
was always
when you were 13 and went to nationals. What did you hit?
When I was 13, I hit a 75 kilo snatch and a 92 or 95 kilo clean and jerk at 13.
Weighing what, 120?
No. I think I was still a super. So, but like but like 13 and under weight class, it's like 94 or plus kilo calories. So I think it was like. No, I think it was like 96. I was over 200 pounds. I was over 200 pounds at 13 years old.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't pass 200 pounds, so I was like 20.
I just passed 200 pounds.
Fighting the war on childhood obesity. Here, we're at the forefront.
Killed childhood obesity.
I think my goals are pretty lofty, but I think it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to snatch 180 and clean and jerk 220 if I stop sucking so much. But
And if you just power clean.
You can power clean 220 right now.
yeah, power cleans are easy, full cleans are hard. I haven't been lifting that long. 2011 Arnold was my first meet I ever did. I did 97, 134 there. So I've come a little ways, but got a long ways to go.
I've been weightlifting for 6 months through CrossFit, which I did through high school. What was the next thing? My lifetime goals are to snatch 170, clean jerk 200. My strength levels when I got here, I wasn't strong at all. I'm still not strong at all, but I
Thought you were the shit.
thought I was. Yeah, I didn't have any strength levels. I still don't. I just move better, I think.
Favorite former Cal Strength soldier that's moved on? Cal Strength.
I think my favorite soldier has to be Nikolai Hristov, who we brought over from Bulgaria. When he got here, he had some success in the lifts, but under Abadjiev and training in a garage that we put together, he was able to produce some results that were pretty staggering. So he snatched 190, which is 420 pounds, and clean and jerk 230, 509 pounds on American soil at a local PWA meet. His technique and his work ethic were second to none, and I wish he was still with us because you could learn a lot from him.
I think my favorite Cal Strength soldier has to be John, because he was the first person I ever saw weightlifting. Like, before I even knew what weightlifting was, I'd run into a YouTube video of this dude like screaming and slamming bars. And I was like, damn, that looks cool. That looks easy. I can do that. And so I went in the garage and picked a bar up. I was like, I can't do this. This shit's really hard. And then I ended up coming in here, and he was one of like the first people who like talked to me and kind of helped me out, and, like showed me some stuff. So I like the energy he brings, because watching weightlifting is like not super exciting, and it's so when you get characters like that who just are really passionate about the sport, then it makes me want to do well, want to get better, and want to inspire people.
I thought you liked James Moser.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another person who I thought was an absolute badass once I like learned about him was James Mosier, because as a kid he was a freak. He was a man amongst children, even when he was a child. Super strong. His flexibility was absurd.
Courage.
He was just exactly. Dude was super brave. He'd go under anything, and the way he attacked weights, he had the same kind of energy as John. It was more of like a crazy energy, but he was badass.
I have to kind of bring it to like who I know, because I would have loved to have trained with Martine, like in that period with Martine and Donnie, because I hear nothing but great stories. But I have to bring it to John and Donnie and that kind of duo, because when I came, John was still like struggling to get on top of the 94 class, and it was like super competitive, and a competitive and motivated, focused John North is one of the like greatest people that I could have ever trained with, particularly at that time. And then to add Donnie into that, he was always just like a man amongst boys, like with that group that I was with. So I have to give it to like John and Donnie, because that was a mixture of lifters that was very like dynamic, and you got so much to pull from that, because you had Donnie, who was very much like the old bull and very experienced in lifting and been lifting since forever, and John, who was just wild and crazy, and you loved it, and you just loved the energy that John brought to the platform. So yeah, I have to say John and Donnie.
Nicole, how do you recover mentally and physically from days or maybe even a week where you don't get any lifts and feel like you're taking steps back?
That a lot of people in here are very encouraging, like Big Mike, and I think we've all learned each other, if that makes sense. So some days I need a little tough love, and some days I need like coddling. So mentally, that's how. Physically, we do a ton of things: ice baths, hot baths, Normatec,
Mark Pro.
yeah. Yeah.
Because everybody like mentally like regroups themselves a little bit different. I've kind of like learned over years and years of lifting that like I'm at the point now where I know I'm gonna have a crappy day of lifting, or a crappy day of snatching, or a crappy month, or a crappy entire 6 week training cycle. And actually I feel like we've all been getting that question a lot. It's like, how do you keep going into the day, or like how do you keep going into like the next training session, and for me it's like it's easy, because I just show up the next day. You know, whatever was done is done. Like there's nothing I can do about the lift before. And so also I kind of realized like, okay, the lift takes about, if it's a hard snatch or clean and jerk, it takes maybe 6 seconds. So if I'm gonna be upset, I'll be upset for 6 seconds. And just go on to the next lift. So learning how to like just let go and know that I can only better myself from the lift before, you know, is probably one of the better ways just to like handle that mental abuse of getting beat up by the bar every day.
When I'm going through like a week or like a couple days where training's just really bad, or I'm just missing a lot, most of the time it's because something's like really tight, whether it's like my shoulder's bugging me or my hip or something, and I'll get work done. I'll really focus more on my mobility and recovery, and that always seems to help. There are times where it's like you feel good and you're just not lifting good, and Dave's not gonna like this answer, but for me, when I have those times where it's like I'm just like beating my head against the wall and I'm training and it's just not going well, I go out on the weekends and I party really hard, and by the time it gets to Sunday I feel really terrible, and all I want to do is get back to like what I'm used to, and that's training and feeling beat up by the bar instead of beat up by being out, and that mentally changes for me.
I feel like that's a really good answer.
You
Just like get like a mental break from being beat up.
How do I prevent bruising my pubic bone in the snatch?
It's inevitable for most developing weightlifters. I think everyone goes through it. You just have to be more patient, yeah.
If you hit the bar in the right spot, you won't have bruising. I mean, I bruised my hip once, and it's because I hit a zipper and things went bad really quick. But like my first 2 years, I didn't have any hip pain. But like I said, I didn't start just anywhere. I started here, so technique was pretty good to start, just because I didn't know anything else.
Right.
They taught me right away, and so just going back to really hitting the right positions, you won't hit your pelvic bone.
Yeah. How do you prevent your pubic bone from being bruised? It's you have better technique. You don't hit it. So the more patient you are, the power position for most people, the bar should arrive somewhere above the pubis bone and below the hip bone, so that you're avoiding that, and then making sure that the hips are driving up and through, and not just crashing forward into the bar is another really common issue. So staying patient, developing a better power position where the torso is vertical, and making sure that your grip width is assigned correctly, and making sure that your sequence of your extension is correct. Spencer, how do you guys deal with all the dating at the gym? Is there a rule of no dating each other? Any funny or weird stories about breaking up and training the next day with each other?
Awkward turtle.
Awkward turtle.
Spencer's the only one not allowed to date in the gym anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna comment on that situation.
No further
I'm
comments?
pretty sure
There's a lot of
There's a lot of comments that could be said and stories that could be said. I have nothing on that.
Plead the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.